So before I joined, my feeling went from totally unsure, really scared. I had just launched my coaching business, single mom, I traveled. My toddler does not sleep. I had every single excuse to be like, there's literally zero logic here. Why shall I take the risk and do it now? There was a lot of intuition, and your values as a person, they're so aligned with my values. And from working with so many different mentors in the past, that's already half of the puzzle gone, because you know this person actually cares. A lot of people that have seen my growth get so impatient thinking, what is the secret? And I said to them, there's literally no secret. June says, if you have the content systems and strategy taught by you in the Creator College that you know work and you post consistently, there's no way you're not going to go viral. It's just a matter of when. Yeah, it literally changed my whole brand and journey, and it gave me so much confidence.
It makes me emotional to even hear that from you. Well, Diana, thank you so much for joining me for this interview. You were obviously an incredible student of ours and that I had such an incredible time working with. And I'm going to just let you introduce yourself and just kind of where you started from, et cetera. But just wanted to highlight you really quickly to my group and to the community that's watching here. You are like the perfect testament to someone that could have made every excuse in the book in regards to how busy you were, you being a mother and you working a job and still showing up, even like different time zones. And I was so unbelievably impressed by you. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And I hope that everyone that's watching here goes and follows your journey because you're absolutely incredible. We'll definitely talk about your achievements here in a little bit. But with that context being said, please introduce yourself and just where you started before we met each other.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Well, first of all, my name's Diana, and I am an empowerment transformation coach. I'm a single mom. I still have my 9 to 5 in accounting, and I'm building my coaching and content creation business on the side that I'm so passionate about. So I basically help single moms and women that left toxic relationships, and they're ready to rebuild their confidence and start something that basically they're really passionate about, like content creation or like online business. And before decided to join the Creator College, I was I was creating content. I would say like every day for like a month, because it was like a challenge for me to be consistent and show up regardless of the metrics and stuff. However, I was kind of like I was burnt out. I was so lost. Like everything was just all over the place. Like we said, I'm a single mom. I'm juggling so much, and I think I've got undiagnosed ADHD. So like my brain, my brain is just like if there's no direction and no clarity. And I know we've spoken about this before. I joined the Creator College. It makes it really difficult to enjoy the journey and the process. So yeah, I was completely lost in terms of like my content pillars, my basically creative vision. What is it that actually like what do I need to speak about? Who is Diana? What's her personal brand? I was posting for the sake of posting. I had an idea, of course. I was already doing some sort of storytelling, but there was like a whole level that I didn't think I could ever reach in terms of sharing and vulnerability and, different layers of content. And I didn't know anything about having a content system, content strategy, and, finding ways where you can enjoy the journey, because I love creating content and without burning out. Um, so that's when we had a conversation to join the Creator College. I remember I voiced all of these concerns to you. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I really don't know. I'm struggling with all of these things. And my main goal and focus in joining was, well, first of all, I was so inspired by your work. I had been following you for a while, and I was like, he's the ideal, like, example of how I would see someone's clear vision and clear transformation and values and manners and all of these things in like a content creator, even though obviously we don't have the same journey. So I had no choice but to trust your experience, regardless of how many followers you've got and how long you've been doing it. I was like, that's how I want to kind of show up as authentically me. Because not every creator is, fully authentic or shares their values, and they're not usually, I know you say like you are the niche, but some people are very focused on their fitness or, their product or their clothing line. You don't know anything about them and what's behind the scenes. So that's where the trust came in terms of voicing my concerns and asking you about like, okay, like, would you say that Creative College is a place that is going to help me as someone with this lifestyle, as someone in this kind of stage? Because again, I was really nervous about the fact that I was, well, you call it an aspiring creator. I was still very new. Like, I think I had just crossed like the 3,000
Yes.
follower mark. Yeah. Yeah. And that was very recent. Like, it had only been a month since I kind of got out of being stuck at 2K. So so I was like, I'm very new. Like, is this even gonna work for me? Or do I need to wait? And you obviously said to me that it doesn't matter. Like, this program is for people that have just joined with zero following, with with 1,000 to advanced creators that have hundreds thousand plus, and you're going to be taught exactly how to learn the strategies and the content systems that you personally use on your journey that help you stay consistent and post every single day without burning out and by growing and enjoying the journey. And you said that, I was going to get personalized support and I'm going to get the direction that's going to help, the way my brain works, and the, 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 the calls are going to be like recorded. Even if I couldn't attend it, and I can always leave messages for feedback. And I was like, every single concern, every single objection that my mind was saying, you literally like you had an answer for. And I was like, well, I can't. Like, I couldn't say no. So I took, and I remember like it was still a scary decision to me, in terms of like making this investment where I was already like working with someone at the time, but I trusted my intuition. I trusted obviously like everything you were saying, and I was like, you know, this is what I need, and this like I need to really build my personal brand and know how to get there. So that's the background story before I joined.
There's so much in regards to your journey that inspires me to this day in regarding of one, just your pure sheer hard work is it was so so cool. I remember when you would join and you were telling me about everything that's going on, and we were going over some of those concerns, and all I could say was, as long as you're willing to, let's say, go through the recordings and to put your best foot forward and to show up when you can, I think you'd be in a really good spot. But you blew me away. Like, you were on it every single day. You were going and accessing the recordings, asking such really good questions. And it's something that I want to try and ask you here, just so I can fully understand, because what you've done here is so incredibly unique. Again, you had every excuse in the book to say, you know what, it's not the right time. You know what, I'm busy and focused on other things at that point in time when we were having our initial conversation. You're really focused on building your business. And you're like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
really think I need to focus here. I'm already so busy, things of that nature. But going from that emotional state to then saying, you know what, this is the move for me, and this is something that I really want to put my best foot forward. Can you describe that? Is that just inherent to you? Or is that something that you had to like really process through and take an active decision towards? It is so like a stark difference from the person that was so unsure to the day one that I met you inside the car. You're like, I'm full throttle. I'm ready. I'm going to ask every single question possible. And I thought that was really cool. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, of course. So before I joined the creator cohort, and how my feeling went from totally unsure, really scared, you know, so much going on in my life. I had a business coach. I had just launched my coaching business. Single mom. I traveled to a different city to do my accounting job. My son, my toddler, does not sleep. So, and I'm also, and I'm also so passionate about fitness. So, like, there was already so much going on that, like what you said, that like I had every single excuse to be like there's literally zero logic here, like why shall I take the risk and do it now? And I think the reason why I did it, I think I decided the next morning. It didn't take me that long. It decided the next morning. So it's few things. I basically I prayed about it. I always pray when I feel like I feel like this intuition that is not super like bad or illogical. But there is like that there was a lot of intuition and feeling that was like so aligned. As I said, your values as a person in terms of your faith, your family, like all of these things, like they're so aligned with my values. And from working with so many different mentors in the past, that not always worked out. The ones that worked out, which were my recent mentors, were exactly because of that, because the values aligned. And I think this is so important. Like I tell, I like when people get nervous about, let's say, like joining my program, I always say to them, from my personal experience, look at the connection and the alignment in your coach and mentor, because if they care about their family and people and their faith, and that's something that's so important to you, that's already half of the puzzle gone, because you know this person actually cares. You know that they're not going to really lie to you. You know they're embodying the things that are further more than the strategy and the content, because you can get taught that without everything else. But I think that's the thing that made the decision so much like less scary. So it's like the intention, the prayer, the me voicing every single concern, sleeping on it. And then the other thing that you said is, when I actually joined, I was fully like, I'm ready. I'm making it work. I think I stayed up to like 3 a.m. I didn't tell you. I said 2 a.m., but it was 3 a.m. When I joined one of the calls, I was like, Dana, don't look too crazy. I joined at 3 a.m. because I had missed a lot of the recordings. And the reason why, to answer your question, and I've done that with my other investments, big investments this year, is for, honestly, the reason for me personally is, when I make such a big investment that feels so scary, that is, that like, again, coming from a single mom that doesn't have the time to play around and waste her money, waste her time. I don't have that option. So I value every single thing that I like invest my money on, my energy, more than anything in life in general. I don't have the luxury and the capacity to waste my time and money and energy anyways on things that are outside of my priorities, which is my health, my son, my business, and like my faith, right? So when I do take that step, and I'm sure my business coach told you, like, I put every single thing in it to make it work, whether it's staying up at night, whether it's like going through recordings, because that's me fulfilling the promise that I made when I committed to this investment. Why would I, sacrifice even the financial value of it, right? Like, I'm a single mom. I can't be taking decisions and wasting money for no return investment. And I'm not saying in terms of followers or in terms of money. It could literally be a shift in identity, a shift in learnings and wisdom and skills that I can use that no one can take away from you. That's how I see it. So of course I had to put my life and soul and just make it work. And I had the same exact mindset when I did my 100K in May for, helping my family back home in Syria. Again, everyone was saying, how the heck would you do it when you've got 20,000? Well, I made it work. I took my son with me. Like, when it's so purpose led, when it's like, when time and money and energy is your currency and your priority, I can't just throw it away. So and I think that's how I quantum leap slash that's how I see results and I grow quickly, because I don't waste time. And it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed, because I know like my growth happened straight after the cohort and I didn't get disheartened by it. However, I did have the faith in some of the things that you taught us. And I tell it to my friends and people every single day. I literally say, June always said in one of your calls, I think you've mentioned it more than once, because a lot of people that have seen my growth get so like impatient, thinking, what is the magic? Like, what is the secret? Please tell us, like, you're so close to us. Forget about Creator College. What is the secret? And I said to them, there's literally no secret. June says literally what you say in your lessons is, if you have the content systems and strategy and you post consistently, like, every single day is obviously ideal. I was posting every single day and I still do, unless I miss a day or two. But even if you're just posting consistently and you're following the right strategies, such as the ones, taught by you in the Creator College, that work and are sustainable, there's no way you're not going to go viral. It's just a matter of when. And I had that at the back of my mind. Yeah. I had that at the back of my mind. And I was like, it doesn't matter. I know it's going to happen because I'm doing what my mentor told me. And you're speaking from 5 years experience. The second thing that you said that I always mention and I always remember is, you said that the game of like the Instagram, for example, or social media, it's like a free land and it's like a free lottery ticket, right? And you literally said, well, if you're posting free, it is for free. If you're posting every single day, like, would you not rather get a chance of winning the lottery, like by getting the ticket every single day? But in the social media space, it's for free rather than, get doing it 5 times, 3 times, 2 times. Like you're just maximizing the chances with a free lottery ticket. And again, that that belief and that these two things that you mentioned like stuck so much in my brain, and I now say it to people and I say remind myself every single time I feel like this piece of content is not great or I feel so burnt out. Like there's always something that you can post. There's always a way for you to show up just to get you that 1% closer, even if you don't see it. And it's clearly the truth.
There's so much that you said there that speaks to the alignment of what Creator College hopes to be. And the fact that you've even remembered two exact statements that I've said as mantras over and over again to our students means the absolute world to me, because then hopefully it means that the impression carried through. And a lot of what this is that as a creator, when you don't have a level of guidance, you're almost just throwing things and hoping that they stick. And you can try as much as you possibly can, but then you feel disheartened if the results don't show. And it is hard to put into words how much a value it is to have someone say, hey, if you do this system, if you can follow through with this, and that's all you have to focus on, it reduces the anxiety, it reduces the thought of, oh, I'm not there yet. But it allows you to focus on what you can control, build that system, and know you've just said it perfectly. And I'm so happy that you remember that. It's just a matter of time. But the difference between you and the difference between someone else that may not have that system in place is that when that virality hits, you know what to do with it. So we've obviously been watching you and we keep track of all of our students, but we knew that moment would happen, just like it's happened for so many of our students, whether it's in day two or whether it's in month two or whether it's in 3 months. It's the thought process behind that moment is there. And we had no doubt in our mind that you would continuously ride that wave upwards. And now, I mean, you've hit a huge milestone, literally probably the coolest milestone ever that we're going to celebrate right here, right now in this moment. You 10,000 followers, and you came into Creator College at just hitting 3,000, having, let's say, this current existing content where you were showing up, but it just didn't have the direction, it just didn't have kind of the positioning of it. And now we look at you and you're like building this audience of people. We're asking you how you built your audience, and it is so unbelievably cool. So I want to quickly ask you in terms of one, you've nailed the mindset, and I think you have such a strong mindset. Ever since I've met you, you've always done such a wonderful job putting yourself in a position for success mentally. If we think then strategically, what was one of those big unlocks for you when you had joined? Is there a certain method that we talked about, or is there a certain topic that we covered that really stood out to you that felt like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be doing it?
Oh my gosh, yes. So the biggest unlock for me from a strategy point of view is that I I didn't have like a system in place that I knew was working, or like I knew that this is the strategy and this is how you post. I was just kind of like going with the flow, inspiration, whatever. So the biggest strategy tool that helped me and I still use every single day is obviously the 7x7 method, and how you learn what basically like works. You're studying content from a creator point of view. I said this to my friends, my colleagues in accounting. I said, did you guys, because I was listening, I was being a bit naughty and I was listening to like one of your live workshops in the office after I finished work, and they're thinking, what is this girl doing? But I said to them, did you know that like content creation can actually be seen like, like studying like math or psychology? I said, like, that blew me away. And they were like, what do you mean? I said, like, you can actually study content from a creator lens, not from a consumer lens. And that blew me away. And I think so, without, I don't know if you want me to go into details, but like that by itself is like a huge shift, because even when every single person like scrolls every single day. Now I don't think I actually ever doom scroll. It's always intentional scrolling slash looking at it from a creative perspective, and that changes the whole game because you're not really wasting your time, especially if you know how to train the algorithm. And when you know how to do your 7 by 7 and study content, and have that in place and review it and change it every single week, like creating your own content in addition to your own, obviously, creativity, your own pillars, because that's what you're meant to do, right? Like apply all of the learnings and the formats, but then you're putting your own unique point on it, whether it's your story, whether it's your um um whatever topic you want to talk about, that's from your creative vision slash content pillars. And that's how it becomes your own. So it's not from scratch. You're not having to do everything from the start, and you're also not copying anyone else's work. You're just looking at it from like a creator analysis point of view. The second one that literally, when I tell you, it changed, and it changed my whole creator journey. And I genuinely think, like, I can't give you enough credit. This is the power of showing up when I can to the live calls, even though I was asking questions when I wasn't caught up with all the learnings, but I was like, I need to use this time as much as I can, right? I think it was, I don't know what call it was, but I remember saying to you, no, it was so accidental, but it changed my whole brand. No, literally. So I asked you to, I think, audit some content pieces, and and he went on my pinned reels, and there was this reel that like went viral. It was one reel that went viral. And I said to you, oh, just please, just ignore it. Like, I don't even know why this went viral. Just please ignore it. And you were like, wait, why do you think it's accidental? I said, I said, well, because I'm single and this was about relationships. Like, I'm not gonna talk about relationships. So the whole relationships pillar was literally like not even in my creative vision. It wasn't in my content pillars. It wasn't part of my identity, because I thought, if I've been single since 2023, who am I to talk about relationships? And you said to me, hold on a second. You said, what do you mean you can't talk about relationships? Of course you can. You said you've been in a relationship, even though it was toxic. You obviously, I'm now a single mom. So I've been through different stages of just being in a relationship and leaving a relationship and going through a heartbreak and trauma and abuse. And now you're also single, which is a relationship status still. And I kind of chosen to be single because I'm prioritizing other things. So that's also a decision in the relationship aspect, right? And you said this to me on the call, and honestly, it literally rewired my whole brain like chemistry. I'm not gonna lie. I went after that day, and I was like, it's like you've like given me this free pass that I thought was like forbidden. And all I did was like, I literally just started. I think I created one video that you actually gave us as a homework.
Yeah.
I think it was either I'm 30 and I'm ashamed of, or one of these kind of like trends that would allow you to be vulnerable. And talked about the relationship aspect, and it did so well. And I was like, wait, what am I supposed to do now? People, like, I think it went viral actually. Like, now it's at nearly 1 million views. And it was literally just me saying, I wish I knew these things about relationships, which is the red flags that I didn't see. And the amount of DMs, comments, relatability, even followers that I got, and that was the first. I was like, I'm sorry, but like, if this is what people, because this is the other thing, like, it's not just about me, it's about what do people actually like need and want to hear from, right? It's not just about me. It's about what can I actually like give value and like empower someone else. And it was through my own experience that I'm actually the most experienced at, because I've lived it. So it was so easy to actually talk about. Um, and that changed the whole game for me. Now it's like the main thing that I talk about. My whole brand is more focused now on helping women, that have left these relationships. I'm in the process of creating something to help them heal, like, more products, more accessible products away from coaching. So yeah, it changed. Like, I can't thank you enough. It literally changed like my whole brand and journey. And it gave me just like so much confidence in my own story and in my own experience.
It makes me emotional to even hear that from you because to know how you were approaching your story before we had met in those initial stages of you being unsure if there are experiences that you've gone through that would be even of value to your audience, to then fully embracing the experience and the pain that you've gone through, and then be able to empower other women to feel the same in their experiences. Now you've made such a compounding impact on their lives, and that is so brilliant. And you talked about the creative vision, you talked about the 7x7, and that is actually where I saw so much growth in you. And what we do at Creative College is mainly the idea of how can we prepare you once you're outside of the confines of the cohort to still have success? Like, how can we equip you with all the strategies in place? And for you, there's a big part of the 7x7 that you're talking about, this evergreen learning. It's this thought of how do I continuously see content from the perspective of a creator? How do I go and see a new piece of content where June might not be next to me to help me with this,
Yeah.
but now I feel empowered to know, you know what, maybe I can actually reverse engineer and understand the formats, understand common threads behind commonly used formats across these successful creators. Oh my goodness, now I can start incorporating this with a unique messaging that's my own. Wow, now I have a video that has a high likelihood for success and it's completely mine and I'm getting better at this. And then when I look at your content, it's like even your talking heads, I see it. It's like there's a brilliance and a shining element to you where you've really understood the format and getting better each time. And I'm so unbelievably proud of you for that experience. And there's one thing that you've just brought up that I really want to touch on because I think you've been one of the best literally ever that I've worked with, not just even in Creative College, but just generally in my entire 5 years of helping people build their personal brands. The speed in which you understood that you actually have a story that you need to actually start talking about and helping people through is a transition and transformation that most people feel very uncomfortable doing because you have imposter syndrome. You have this thought of, what do I actually have to offer that's unique here? But the speed in which you asked me that I know exactly what conversation you're talking about. Like, I remember the call in my head. When I saw it, I was like, "Wait, that's so weird. Why is this so viral? Why she has never told us once about this piece of content?" And then I'm just breaking down like, "Wait, this is a good piece of content. Like, where did this come, and go from your perspective?" And then to see that immediate change, and you never second guessed it at all after that. Immediately, you went into your other pains. You went into the thoughts of, "You know what? Like, I've gone through these experiences and this is my truth." So in our creative vision, we talk about that one branch, the uniqueness branch. We talk about your pain, your passion, your experiences and skill sets, and that is titled Your Truth. And that's where your most powerful content comes from. You ran with that. So it was like every single way you were tapping into it and slowly started to see, okay, now these videos are getting more engagement. And you're so smart that you recognize that and you're like, all right, let me lean more into this. Oh, wait, this relationship thing now is like a huge thing. And you're absolutely right. You have every credibility to speak on that because when I talked to you, that was a huge part of who you were. And you're saying, you know, I'm choosing to be single in this season because of everything going on, but here are the things that I've learned. And I'm like, why aren't you making content about this? It's brilliant that what you've just shared with me. And I just want to keep highlighting that point because you came in, right, with one, just a thought behind, all right, I have this business that I want to potentially do well in social media. And now I just want to learn how to scale my business. But then you came out of it like impacting people much beyond your business. You're like actually helping every single day people that feel less alone in the world, that your message is able to reach people that you couldn't otherwise reach. You have 10,000 people in your audience now. That's insane to think about. It took me so long to get to 10,000 followers. And you got it in like 6 weeks. And when I look at your content too, and I hope that the audience watching this right now goes and watches your content, what's beautiful about your content is that every little bit of that 10,000 followers was built the right way, meaning that most people, when they're in this season of their lives, like, I just want to grow, I just want to grow, I just want to grow. They do exactly what you said in the beginning, which is the problem. They isolate on a particular topic. They're like, I just have to teach as an expert perspective on this thing, this thing, this thing. But by the time that if they do have success and they have 20,000, 50,000 followers, they either grow bored or tired of that topic, or they're realizing, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm being restricted in this particular way of expressing myself. You did the complete opposite. You went, all right, forget the specific content pillars, all that stuff right now. Let me just think about my story and the thing that I've done over time. Let me just share that. So now your 10,000 followers that are here, like in love with you, like the thing that you've done over time. So then, yes, when you go and launch a business. So yes, when you go and launch new offers. Yes, when you go get invited to speak on stages. It's like people are going to have this gravity, this affinity towards you because they know who you are. And I'm so proud of you for doing that. And I'm so happy that you were the type of student to take that type of feedback in stride, never hesitate one time after that, and just keep on enacting it. Now, with that being said, when you were in this process, right? Because I feel like most people would only dream to be in your spot now, having $10,000. Again, is like what when I had hit $10,000, it was like, oh my gosh, like maybe this is the route for me. Um, but when you're in that process and you start seeing, and I looked at your page too, of like, oh, my videos are getting like 20,000 views. Oh wait, whoa, now there's like a 30,000 view. Now they're like pretty consistent, 35,000, 40,000 views. Oh my gosh, I did a talking head and my talking head used to not get any views and now it's like 40,000 views, 45,000 views and like people are engaged with it. What does that feel like? Like when you're finding like I could be my authentic self online and people are actually coming ahead and following me for that journey.
Honestly, the feeling of like, actually, you mean like when I'm actually like getting the
Yeah,
growth when I
like
sta-
when you're getting it.
when I hit the 10K and I saw the views? Honestly, it's like it's so overwhelming and it's so insane. However, I think because I've always like led with impact, never the numbers. It felt like it felt like it was about to happen. And I think, like what you said, even though I've got the business and the coaching, like I love giving free value, and I love like just seeing, like what you said, like women messaging me from like a video that I nearly didn't hit post. So the latest token head that I posted of me just walking was on my draft for 2 weeks. And because and because I promised myself to post, every day as much as I can. One day I was like, let me. And I don't post token head all the time. I was like, let me just post it on TikTok and Instagram, just because, like just because. But I honestly, and then the amount of messages that I got from that one piece of content, I got a message from a friend of mine that lives in London that literally sent me the link of that video on TikTok. And I don't even like post on TikTok that much. And she literally said to me, is this you, by the way? Because a friend of mine that's going through domestic abuse at the moment, and she's struggling so much. She just sent me this video, and she said that she felt so much better because it empowered her and she saved it. And I couldn't believe it. I said, "Does she know me?" I was like, "Of course she knows me." She said, "No, she doesn't know you, but I know you." So I'm like, I said, "Please tell her to message me." And I couldn't believe it. And I think it wasn't when I reached the 20 and the 30K and like now the 10K that hit me. It was genuinely when I got this message and the other DMs and messages from genuine human beings and like heartbeats on the other screen that are talking about their crazy vulnerable situation and how one piece of content is giving them hope or making them feel less alone. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this the power of me just getting over the imposter syndrome? Is this like, see how huge it is to just not care about your ego, not care about the metrics, not care about the imposter syndrome, what people judge. Like, this is literally the proof of it. Because on the other side of what you think is crappy content and cringy content, and it's not good enough because there is this other person that will receive it because they were meant to receive it. I believe that every piece of content will reach people that it's meant to reach, even if it's just one person. It's making an impact. And my purpose with this business, before I even thought about what the business is, and from building my personal brand, has always been impact and helping other women. And I think that's exactly answering your question in terms of why was I never focused on or cared about the specific niche, is because all I cared about was the impact. So whether it's me talking about my business journey or it doesn't matter. As long as I'm like actually making an impact, I don't care about changing the topics and talking about different like areas of my life. So to answer your question, it's so overwhelming. Like, I feel so grateful, and it comes with a sense of responsibility. But I feel like this is why, like what you said, you will be prepared for it. This is why it's so important to learn the content system and to learn the strategies and to make it your new standard to actually post consistently. Because now that I've hit this following, I don't, yes, I felt terrified for a second, but I'm like, you know what, I know there's responsibility now, but I've been doing it for the last 3 months, so I can do it. Do you know what I mean? So it really helps that it's not new anymore because you've trusted yourself enough that you've been showing up regardless. So now it's just a matter of, yes, there's more eyes looking at you, but it gives you, more motivation, more purpose, and you just have to continue basically doing what you're doing. And I think that's how I feel now. I feel like a sense of responsibility, but also gratitude because the impact is happening. It's just a matter of me finding ways to actually like refine different offers and making different things that can actually support them like more than just the content.
The reason why you mean a lot to me personally, like let alone create a college, but the idea of your story is there's a lot that's similar. As in, although we're obviously coming from two very different backgrounds, this thought behind you and I both aren't quote unquote,
Immigrant. Yeah.
yeah, like meant to be where we are, right? Like to say that you can now reach 10,000 people and to make that large of an impact, and for me to wake up every day and feel like I can do the same is unreal. But it speaks a volume to this thesis that I have of I believe anyone, if they have a purpose as big as yours or just have a desire to help people, that content
Mhm.
is the medium and you can win that way. You don't have to come from a creative nor business background. You don't have to be somebody that knows the highest production. You don't have to know how to work a camera.
Yeah.
You simply need to have this message and have a desire for it to be heard. You came in at such this like brilliant mindset of like, you know what? I don't care what this is going to look like. I don't care where I'm filming it. I don't care what it's going to require of me. I don't care if it's in my car. I don't care if it's in my room. I just need to get this voice that I have, make sure that I can package it in a way that works in a medium like social media and let it be heard. So for me too, when I look at my content, there's nothing about it that I'm like, oh, cool. Like my production is so much better. I actually think that I have one of the worst production created at my size. I do say is that it doesn't matter. It's like the thought behind how do you actually present a message and do it consistently enough so that people garner trust with you. And for the
Mhm.
fact showing up every single day, no matter how busy you are, and you are literally incredibly so busy that like 99.999% of the people, if they were in your spot, would have said, I'm too busy to do creative college, and let alone post every day, right? So that you're showing up regularly and you're actually so in tune with your audience and what it is that can serve them. Because we go through that entire practice of the framework. When I looked at your creator vision, I saw the psychographic and demographic of that target avatar. I'm like, she gets it. And it got clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. And you're like, ah, okay, this is who I'm serving. So like when you do that talking head and you're not necessarily thinking about, okay, what is exact lighting here? How do I make sure that the duration's perfect? You're just like, ah, okay, I feel like my intuition is being trained. I feel as though I'm more confident in this message, and you deliver it. And who knew that it would, hit another 75,000, 85,000 people altogether. And I want to quickly share a story because it actually directly reflects what you've just said in real time, which is so cool because I didn't know that story, but it reminds me of this exact same story that I had at your exact same stage. So when I was first starting to create content, I had been in my freshman year of college. And at that time, I had a close friend of mine that was living in California and I went to school in Philadelphia. So he was going back and forth, especially during the holidays. He went back home and he had said that he had spoken to one of his really close girlfriends at the time. And she was explaining how there was a creator that made a really large difference in her life and how she was going through a really difficult time. And this creator actually took the time to not only create content that's particular to what she was going through, but spent time with her in DMs and things of that nature. And so my friend just naturally asked like who that creator is without knowing at all. And it turned out to be my page. And that thought, wow, people get so afraid of putting their voice out there. But then once you start to recognize that 10,000 people is a lot, but 200 people is a lot, 500 people is a lot, 1,000 people is a lot of people. And when you can start to recognize you're making an impact where you otherwise couldn't reach these individuals, that is like the power of content creation. That is the power of
Yeah.
personal. And now you've discovered this medium. When Diana, you go and you live your life and you might have a different pain that you go through in the near future, or you might have this new revelation. It's like you have this audience
Mhm.
built that's ready to listen and ready to be served. And you were there doing everything you possibly can to reach them. So what you've done is absolutely brilliant, and I am so unbelievably, again, proud of you, and I had to share that story because I feel like there's such a direct mirror of where
I
you're going.
forgot you've mentioned this story before. That's crazy. Yeah.
It's like the exact behind what it is that
Yeah.
you're doing. When I look at you, right, I look at, again, someone that in all honesty, is the group of people that I hope the Creative College can continuously meet. It's one thing for, let's say, a creator who has all the privileged background to come in, and we're more than happy to serve them as well. If like I have, a huge audience already, I'm just looking to fine tune X, Y, and Z, things of that nature.
Mhm.
But normal people like me, that again, when I look back on this journey, I have no idea how I got here, and I pray every single day with so much gratitude that God has put me in the position I am in today. And then to also see someone like you that had come in with also every excuse that you could have made in the book, and you didn't. You came in, you followed through with. It's not an easy thing to do, but you came in, you put your best foot forward, and now it's like we're seeing the fruits of your labor. I know for a fact there's other people like that that are waiting, that are on the fence to join Creative College, and they're thinking too, this is still a very scary investment. I maybe have never done something like this. Now, you mentioned your business mentor because your business mentor is now in cohort number 3 because of you, because of you how highly you spoke about it. So I'm curious, what did you tell your business mentor? What would you tell anyone that's on the fence of joining Creative College, the VIP cohort experience, and how you felt in it? If they're on the fence, what would you tell them?
So the message that I would tell anybody that is on the fence of joining Creator College and they feel like either it's a big investment or it's a stretch or they're just not sure if they're going to get value or it's going to serve them where they are. Honestly, I would say like no matter which stage you're at, whether it's zero, whether it's like I don't have any content creation experience. I don't know what the heck is my vision, my content pillars, to having, 100K plus. I like if you have like so much, if you really want to grow your personal brand, but also find a content system and strategy that works no matter what niche you're in, no matter what life experience you're in, no matter what what your business is that works, that's gonna make you grow like like with no doubt, that's gonna allow the aligned people to come to your page and you're not going to burn out and you're so passionate about like it's a priority of yours, whether it's like growth in terms of the followers, whether it's because I say this when I talk about creator courage, whether it's like YouTube, TikTok, monetization, like the greatest and biggest leaders in the industry of all of these platforms, no matter, I feel like no matter what your goal is, like like this is gonna like guaranteed quantum leap you, is going to help you, is going to support you, and is going to definitely get you to that next level, like regardless of what your goal is, because you're learning from the best people in the industry in every single platform and monetization, you're getting personalized support from them. And the other thing that I want to share this with you, I don't think I've mentioned it, and it's life changing. The community that comes with it, it's priceless. I came in before the Creator College, honestly. June, and I know you might relate when you was in your early like stages. I don't know anybody in my physical reality or in the UK that does content, that has this purpose, that has this mission, that cares about, that cares carries their tripod with them everywhere. Like I don't know anybody that's on that level. So I was going through this alone, apart from having the mentors by my side, right? When you join the Creator College, no matter which stage you're in, no matter which background you've come from, you are going to connect with the most amazing creators that are on the same journey in an advanced level below you, and you're gonna get that like priceless support, and you're going to feel so less alone. Like now I've got friends for life, by the way, from the Creator College. Yeah, like I talk every single day with them. I'm planning a meetup with, one of the girls. She's called Rachel. She's from the UK. She's in Australia now. Like it's insane. You make friends for life, and you also, the thing that I loved about the live workshops, not only you get the chance to ask your own questions. What I did was actually listen to all the other creators questions, and and literally learn from the feedback given to them at different stages, and it makes you feel so inspired because when I hear people that are advanced creators at 100 plus K talking and like going through something that I'm going through, I'm like, oh my gosh, like at least now I know that this is normal and this is something that I will probably go through when I'm at a larger audience. And I think, yeah, I think that's like literally, and I used to always like also like stalk their questions and feedback on Discord because I learned so much just from I know I would be, I'd be like, oh, what did you say to this one? And like that for me, that gave me this, like so that I'm not focused so much on like my bubble and my stage. It just expands your brain to see like what other like problems and things people go through and the feedback and the things that because it will definitely relate to you in like one way or so yeah, I think like you're gonna get that community that's priceless. You're gonna get the support that's personalized from like the greatest and biggest leaders in the industry. You're guaranteed growth and results if you are willing to put in the time that you can control, like to just show up. Just I still have tons of videos to watch, by the way. Like I'm still learning now. There's still so much to learn. But I think when you take the overwhelm and just think there's so much value, it's never gonna go there. And whenever I get a chance, I'm gonna watch, the topic that I'm more interested in, whether it's content, whether it's YouTube, whatever, and use that personalized support as much as you can. And you're guaranteed to quantum leap and grow and see crazy results. So, yeah.
You are absolutely incredible. We might need to bring you back to just teach it a couple at this point. But at this point, I'm sure one that people are in love with you the way the Creator College team has grown such a respect and admiration for who you are as a person, more than just the content that you've developed. So if they're watching up to this point in time, can you tell them in terms of just your own personal future plans with content, where can they find you? Because I'm sure you're going to have a lot more people now rooting for this message and championing your brand. So talk a little bit about your brand, talk a little bit about where you want to head in the future.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, if anyone watching this and want to follow my journey, or like just send me a DM and ask me about my experience with Creator College, I'm more than happy to like answer the questions. I'm at the moment, my name is Diana.empower on Instagram, so you can find me there and on TikTok. But so currently, I have like a coaching program that's called Rebuild and Rise, and it's basically my signature program that has the whole transformation of like leading. Bringing women slash single moms or moms from kind of like survival mode to rebuilding, reclaiming their power, rebuilding their confidence to actually getting them to the point where they're releasing the limiting beliefs. They have empowering beliefs now, and they're actually doing the thing that they're wanting to do, whether it's fitness, whether it's content, whether it's business. So I walk them through my framework process of release, reclaim, rebuild, and rise through this coaching program. So that's currently like my signature offer. And then I also do one-off sessions if someone just wants, I believe, neuro-linguistic reprogramming session. So I do that. And I'm also actually in the process, as I said, I'm in the process of creating more accessible, like products that will, serve a lot more women, as I said, that are actually, that came to my world through sharing my story, that have experienced things that I've experienced when I was in that situation, when I was in that relationship, or when I just left. So this is actually something that I'm working on now that I'm so excited about. But yeah, like they can DM me. I'm more than happy to have a conversation and yeah, just see where they are.
Well, Diana, thank you so much for your time. We'll definitely include all of that detail in the description box so they can go find you. You are, again, such a bright experience from everything that we are doing for Creator College. And your personal development in this experience gives me like every inkling that we're doing the right thing here. So I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm sure we'll be crossing paths here in the near future as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.